And then all of a sudden he came there, my God.
No way.
And I had prepared a long speech, which I forgot all about.
All of it.
I think I made the shortest Oscar speech ever.
How can we define cinema today?
The platforms only allow the films to be screened in a cinema for 1 month. And then I met her, and of course we fell in love when we married then. And Ingmar was jealous.
When a director on a stage in the Academy won an Oscar,
Yeah,
how can we describe that moment?
I know about the integrity of a director. I wrote the script, you are the director, and it's your movie. I'll never interfere.
بودكاست سينما وبودكاست سينما في الحلقة هذه مش حلقة عادية. اليوم نحكيه على واحد من أهم أيقونات السينما في العالم، حائز على جائزة الأوسكار، مرتين بالم دور، وأيضا يعتبر من عمالقة السينما اللي جايتنا من البلدان الإسكندنافية. ضيفنا هو ضيف مميز جدا من المخرجين اللي تعلمنا منهم أساليب سينما، ونحن عنا شرف كبير وسعداء جدا أنه يكون معنا بيلي أوجست المخرج الدنماركي. جدا سعداء انه معنا اليوم. We are very happy to be with us in Cinema podcast today. Such an honor.
Happy to be here.
Thank you so much. Actually, we will talk about everything related to cinema, and it's a pleasure to be or to have an interview or to ask a director who had Oscar Palme d'Ors. This is like the best prizes. Any director in the world wants to get it. It's not easy, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, I need to talk especially about the vision in cinema. Actually, today we see like cinema, it's really developed nowadays. It's really different than the 80s, 70s, 90s and everything. So if it is actually, and also what we know about you and your movies, there is a lot of emotion in your movies, in the scripts. So how can we define cinema today?
First of all, I think the cinema language, much faster than 30 years ago, and has a lot to do with, of course, with the new generation. They see everything on the social media, and they see so many images all the time. So the speed is much faster, but there's still a lot of need for good stories that remain the same, and therefore, I mean, another problem also today, especially after COVID, in Europe and also in the United States, because the cinemas were closed down for so long, the cinemas have lost the long generation, which is very unfortunate. And the other big problem is also that many of the feature films is financed via the Netflix and all these big streamers.
The platforms.
Yeah, the platforms.
Yeah, streaming platforms.
And, exactly. And the platforms only allow the films to be screened in a cinema for 1 month, normally, which means that the audience, they don't want to pay money to go to the cinema if they know they can see the film on their flat screen in their home later, which is very, very unfortunate. So it's hard. It's a hard time for cinemas generally, but I'm not complaining at all. It's all we can do is trying to make good films and trying to engage the audience and tell the stories that we as a directors feel is important.
Let's talk about especially the visual style. We know about your visual style is described as minimalistic yet also powerful. So maybe how do you approach like framing, lights, especially in a lot of movies we see this style, like we can create. It's a style of Bill.
I think the story decides the style of a film. If it's an intimate story, then it has to be shot in a way with respect for the characters, for the intimacy. Of course, if it's an action film or whatever, a more dramatic film, it will be different. Most of my films are more intimate, or it's about relationship, because that's what I like and what interests me. So I choose to have it more respectful style towards the characters and the story. But I've also tried to do action films, which is not, I'm horrible doing it, but I've tried. So basically it's all about texture. It's about texture. It's about texture in the story, in the script. It's about texture in the relationship. It's about texture in the production design, the cinematography. And everything has to come together. It has to be complete, otherwise it doesn't work. And also, if you work with the kind of actors that I like to work with, who likes drama and who likes relationship, they also want texture. They want there has to be something. It cannot just be one dimension. There needs to be another layer. There needs to be another dimension into everything, and that's what I care a lot about. And if I get a lot of offers, or of course stories, if I'm interested, but if I can't feel the texture, if I can't feel the quality, then I'm not interested. And also in a story, for me, I mean, storytelling is easy. You have a person going from A to B, and then you invent some obstacles. So that's a story, that's a drama. But for me, that's easy. It's very easy to do. But for me, it's really about also having a moral conflict. There needs to be a human moral conflict in the story, and then that what for me makes the story great and makes it not one dimension, but gives us another layer, which I find interesting, and hopefully also the audience find interesting. It's true. I have done quite a lot of films based on novels, and but the thing is, if you decide to do a film based on a novel, you must make a decision. What is the story in the story? Otherwise, it just becomes illustrated literature, which never works on screen. So you have to say, okay, what is the story in this story? And then when you work on the script, anything that has nothing to do with the story you have decided to do, you must exclude. And that's the only way it works. I've tried it many times with adaptations. So that's the only way it will work.
Talking about like scripts and talking about this, I should talk about the film that you made also with the legendary Ingmar Bergman that won the Best Intention, that you won a Palme d'Or with. How it was the work with Ingmar Bergman?
I got a phone call, and a man said, "This is Ingmar Bergman, and I want you to direct the film I wrote." And I thought it was my friend who always make jokes with me, who said, "This is Ingmar Bergman." But this was a real Ingmar Bergman.
Wow.
Yeah, that was amazing. So, and I was a little bit worried. I read the script. He sent me the script, and I loved it. It was the best script I ever read. But I was also worried that he would interfere in the work, because then I can't work. And so I flew to Stockholm, where he lived. And I met him, and he said, the first thing he said was, "I've done more than 50 films myself. I know about the integrity of a director. I wrote the script, you are a director, and it's your movie. I will never interfere." Which was, and he never did.
And it was a very big
line. He had one young actress. He said, "The only thing I want, this young actress must play my mother."
Okay.
And I've seen her in Ferdinand Alexander. She was a great actress, and then I met her, and of course we fell in love when we married. Then, and Ingmar was jealous because he wrote the script for her, and it was about his mother. And
okay.
Anyway, that's a different story.
That's really nice. Okay, talking about Best Intention as the movie, and also that one that we heard everywhere in the world, Beyli the Conqueror. That movie that was like nominated in many the big events, and also he had the Palme d'Or and the Oscar of Best Foreign Movie in the world, which is the prize any director in the world, like, it's an objective for him, it's a dream for him to get it. So tell us more about that movie, about this work on that movie, and also the prizes that you get.
First of all, I read it's based on a novel also, and
yes.
And I read it's a brickstone of a novel, and I said to myself, okay, what is the story? There's a lot of side stories, a lot of characters, but I said to myself, what is the story about? It's a love story between a boy and his father. And I wrote that on a little note on my desk. And that's how I wrote the script, because anything that has not to do, I excluded. And I knew it would be a challenge because the leading character is a boy. But I have worked with children before, so I knew approximately how to work with children. But the boy and Max von Sydow, who was playing the father, they did got very well along. And also, because we had both summer and winter, so we shot all the summer scenes in one period of time, and then we had a long break, and then we shot the winter scenes, which was amazing because we have the boy running on ice flakes and so on. But it was a great shoot, wonderful shoot, and for me it was just another movie. But then it got a lot of attention, of course, because it traveled worldwide and was in the Cannes and I should say also. Yeah, we were in Los Angeles. The Oscars.
But you were expected this, like you expected this from like the beginning of shooting, or
no, not at all. We heard, I was young, and I heard it went to Cannes, and I did not know a lot about Cannes, so I went. They put me in the smallest hotel, a little bit outside Cannes. The production did, and it was fine to be there. And then they asked me, because they found the cheapest airline ticket for me, so they could not fly me home earlier. So I was supposed to stay there the whole way until the end of the festival, right? And I thought it was just because they couldn't change the airline ticket, so I just stayed there. And then I had to go there the last evening, and I said, okay, it's nice. Why not go to a nice party? And then they called me on stage, and I had to go up, and it was great.
It was really great.
Yeah,
okay. Nice. Sorry to ask you about this, but really, because we need to know that. Like the moment when a director on a stage in the Academy won an Oscar.
Yeah.
How can we describe that moment?
But I'm a very shy person, so I don't like it. I don't like it. And in the Oscars, I said, my God, how do I get through this? And then when it came to Best Foreign Language Film, was in the category Beyli was in, I saw there was because before that I could see there was a cameraman who went up that row where the next winner had to go up, right?
Exactly.
So I started to find out, oh my God, if he's coming in front of me, then I have to go up. And then all of a sudden he came, then my God.
No way.
And I had prepared a long speech, which I forgot all about.
All of it.
I think I made the shortest Oscar speech ever. But it was nice. It was nice.
Yeah. It was nice, and it was really something legendary. Now
and what really these kind of prizes means is it's good for the film. It's a lot of good publicity, and then it will get a bigger distribution worldwide, which is great.
Actually, we know those movies because also that was the references for us when we were in the school of cinemas and everything. It was like something as a references also. Let's talk now more about the Danish cinema, the legacy of Danish cinema. We know a lot of cinema from Denmark. We know a lot of people. We know a lot of directors from there. And also, it's always in the whole festivals, winning prizes and everything. We can also, it's not just we can, it is a school of cinema from Denmark. How can you see that school now? It's different now? It's the same? It got developed more? How can we describe it?
The great thing about Danish cinema is that directors in Denmark, we are friends, we are colleagues, we are not enemies. I know I've been in some countries making films where I can feel there's a lot of competition and everybody hates each other. But we are colleagues, we read each other's scripts and we see in the editing room and so on. And it's a very, very nice, inspiring environment. Plus, another thing we have, I think, is the world's best film institute that support films. I think all the films in Denmark has got support from the Danish government, and it's about 40-50% of the budget comes from the state. And the Danish Film Institute is obliged obliged to produce, I think it's 25 or 30 films per year.
Wow.
Which means that directors and film crews and actors are constantly working, and they get a lot of experience. And I can only recommend it for your people in Algeria. Create a film institute, and it's not that expensive.
Exactly.
It's not. So do that. It's great for the country. It's great for the culture. It's good for everything.
Yeah, actually, because in Arab world, in most of Arab countries, we're stuck with the funds.
Yeah.
Usually, we're stuck with the funds. We don't get a lot of like this fund from government on production support from the government, which means that's why when you're stuck with the funds, so you're stuck with some topics with some axes, which is different.
Yeah. So. Creative Film Institute here would be good for Algerian cinema.
Actually, it's really nice to be with us. Yeah. It's such a pleasure for us also to be with us in cinema. We meet you here in Algeria, okay, but we will watch you. They will watch you from all the Arab countries. Yeah. So thank you so much again. Thank you to be with us in that podcast. Thank you so much. شكرا لكم. إن شاء الله تكونوا استمتعتوا بهالبودكاست اللي هو مش بودكاست عادي مع مخرج أكيد غير عادي عبقري من عباقرة السينما في العالم وخاصة في الدنمارك. نحن كنا سعداء برشا إنه كان معنا. الأسبوع القادم باش تلقاو بودكاست شيق مميز كالعادة من سينما تلقاو على يوتيوب العربي 2. إلى اللقاء.